Alright, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another book video. Today we're going to be talking about my 5-star reads. I did a different one, or I did my first one a while ago. It's been a good amount of months from my first one. I have quite a few to talk about. I forgot that I even did the first one, and since then I've had a few 5-star reads. So before we get started, this video is sponsored by Karma, so thank you Karma for sponsoring my video. So Karma is an all-exclusive shopping app and web browser extension that helps you get so many products at the best prices. We're going to talk about them in a few. I am a picky rater when it comes to books. I need to just feel that it's 5 stars when I'm reading it. It's not like, oh, this book was good, like I could see it being 5 stars. Like, no, it has to give me the 5-star feeling where it's like this book is gonna be stuck in my mind forever. Like, it's not just a good book, you know. 5 stars for me are like everyone needs to read them, they're amazing. It's just like everything about it was just like so well-rounded and just like what I want from a book. So that's that. It's been a while, like I said, since my first 5-star read, so I have quite a few. I have them written out here just in case I missed some because I have some on my Kindle. So many books. So you've definitely seen me talk about almost all of these on my channel. There's a few more recent ones that I've read. That's gonna be my May TBR. Oh no, my May, what I've read in May. But we're going to start from earliest to like most recent books. So we're starting with the most obvious because I can't believe I was looking at my first like 5-star reads books and it was before I read Love in Other Words, which is crazy. So between that and now, this has become my favorite book of all time. If you've been here before, you know how much I love this book, how big of a spot in my heart this book has. But basically, it's a second chance romance. It's childhood friends to lovers, my favorite tropes ever. But the way it's written is just so perfectly done. You get the then and now, you get it leading up to why they haven't spoken in 11 years, and just the way that this was written, you could just feel like off the bat, like right when it starts, that they're soulmates and that this romance book isn't just about two people getting together and like, you know, just dating and whatever by the end of the book. This is about them experiencing their first together when they were younger, and then we're seeing how them connecting when they're younger and how much of soulmates that they are, and then all of a sudden they're not speaking for however many years, and then you see them right off the bat when they see each other again 11 years later. It's like no time has passed, they still have that special place in their heart for each other. So this book is just, everything about it is my favorite. I loved the characters, I love the story, and it's just perfect. All right, and then I have this. I did a reading vlog on this book, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I read the second one. I did not read the third one just yet, but this is the first one in the series. This is a young adult murder mystery type of book. It's about a girl who, for one of her classes, is doing, I think it's like a capstone thing where she's like re-going through an investigation kind of thing that happened to students that went to her school. So this girl, she died, and Pip, the main girl character, is going through as much as she can, like reading the investigation and stuff, and you kind of see through her point of view, and like you're in her head every step she takes to uncovering the murder mystery. This one is like you are the investigator with her, and it's like you're uncovering things with her, and I really liked it. And I also liked how it was young adult. It was super easy to read, super easy to understand, and there's a lot of twists and turns and plot twists and stuff, and it's like by the end of the book I was like, oh, like I didn't guess this. So it kept me on my toes. It was a quick breezy read, but it was like very well done. The second one was good. To me, it wasn't as good as the first one, and I did read the third one. I kind of got like over the whole mystery murder genre. I'm a big contemporary romance reader, as you guys know, so I was just kind of over it. First one though was a 5-star for me. Next is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. So this is one of my book of the month books from when this like kind of first came out, and I was really excited to read it. And it was just a very like light-hearted romance, which sometimes I like, sometimes I don't like, but this one was just done like, again, really well. I've read it so quick, and I feel like when I know it's 5-star, it's like right off the bat, like a few pages in, or not even, like a few chapters in, and I'm like really invested and I want to keep going. Like that's when I know it'll be like a 5-star, and I'm like intrigued to know what happened. When it's not a 5-star and I'm reading it and it's like, okay, like I want to know what happened, but like I can put the book down for a few hours, I'll come back to it later. But like when I want to get back to the book and like see what happened and stuff, like that's when I know it's like it's 5-star for me. That's if the ending adds up and makes sense for me. But okay, Love Hypothesis was so good. This is like a school, what's the academia? Olive is at the campus, and then he is a professor there, Dr. Carlson. It's fake dating trope, it's grumpy sunshine. For me, you have to do those two tropes well for me to like it. It's hard for me to really like a grumpy sunshine and a fake dating trope, but the way that they did it was just so perfect. I love Dr. Carlson because he's one of those characters where it's like he hates everyone but her. Literally to his students, like everyone hates him, and he kind of has a sweet spot for her. But it's not where it's like he hates everyone but her, where he's literally just like so mean, where he's an unlikable character. Like I loved him. I loved the way that they talked. talk to each other. I loved the storyline. Everything just went smoothly with each other, and I was just like, it just like in my heart, like it felt good reading this book. I was obsessed. Another not so recent one is Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bardugo. This is the duology, the second one in the Six of Crows duology. This whole world to me is just so perfect. I miss it so much. I am so excited for the second season of Shadow and Bone to come out. So if you don't know what any of this is a fantasy read. Again, not like the biggest fantasy, but I like to dip my toe into that genre when I can. But okay, so I started with Six of Crows, obviously, and people were telling me, oh, read Shadow and Bone first so you'll understand the world. There's also a Netflix series on Shadow and Bone, which is another series that the same author wrote, and there's a Netflix series on it. So I was like, do I have to? Because I was like literally about to start Six of Crows. So I didn't. I read Six of Crows, and then I was like, okay, let me see what this Shadow and Bone thing is about. So I went to the Netflix show, I started watching it, and they mixed Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows together into the show. So you get characters from this book, and just seeing them on Netflix, like it was exactly how I pictured them. And it's just like when that happens, like when they get the storyline of like how the characters act and like their personality so right on camera, it's just like, it's like seeing it come to life is like perfect. So I was so excited, and I'm pretty sure they're adding another character from this duology into Shadow and Bone season 2. So if you haven't read it yet, definitely do, and then watch it. So basically Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. The first one I give a 4 out of 5. This one was a 5 out of 5, but basically the whole world is about, I guess we could just say the first one so I don't give away too much of the second one. I mean, I don't think it would, but it's basically like the head guy is Kaz Brecker. He is a thief. He's been through a lot. You figure out their trauma through everything, and he gets together a group of different people in different parts of like the whole world to get a heist, where if they do the heist and they complete it, they all get something at the end of it. So it's kind of like that, but you also get subplots of romance. You get all their characters, and each character, their development is done so well. So when I got to this one, I was just so intrigued with each character, and I like felt like they were my friends, and it was just like the group of them and their like banter and their sarcasm, but also like the romance that was included was just written so well. And like this book was so good. Don't get me wrong, the first one was also good, but like this one where it all came together kind of at the end of it, and just like the character development you get from the first one to the second one, and then you just get the whole story in here when you like know the characters. I could talk about this book all day. It is literally one of my favorite books ever, and that's big because again, I'm not a fantasy reader. It's just so good. Okay, so I do have a couple series that I really want to talk about, but before we get into the series, let's talk about Karma. So a little bit about them. Like I said, it's a shopping app and also a Chrome browser extension that helps you get any product at literally the best price. You guys know me, I'm a big online shopper. I will just sit there and online shop all day long. So it's amazing. You can just get, as you're shopping with the web extension, it'll just pop up. It'll give you some coupon codes and discounts for what you're shopping for. And if you want to just save the item for later, you can do that as well. Like you guys also know, I have an addiction for shopping for books, not just having books to read, but just shopping for them is a whole other world. So I'll go on Barnes & Noble, I'll put stuff in my cart, and then Karma will give me discount codes, which is amazing. Saving money for books. You guys know how much these books add up when you're shopping. So I'll use those codes, and honestly, what's better than saving money while book shopping? So Karma definitely helps me out there. So the Chrome extension is a must. It applies the best coupon for you, and you can save items that you like from like 50,000 plus stores. There's so many options on there that they'll save money for you from, and you can organize it while you're planning for shopping into like shopping lists on Karma. So you can put it into categories, so it'll help you go back to it and, you know, shop and save money. And you can also earn cash back on purchases. So if this is any interest to you, which I feel like it should if you're a big online shopper like me, especially in the book world, clothing, like literally there are so many places that you could save money from, you should definitely get Karma's free Chrome extension in time for spring shopping and spring sales by clicking my link in the description box. So definitely check that out and try Karma. Seriously, it saves so much money and gives you the best coupons and codes. Highly recommend. Okay, continuing on, I wasn't sure how to split this one up or how I should talk about it because I want to do my full video eventually, but I do have the Addicted / Calloway Sister series right here. Since my last video, I have been reading slowly but surely through the first few on the Addicted, and then Kiss This Guy and Hot House Flower I read so quick, and then after that I kind of like slowed down a bit because I wanted to read different worlds and different stories, and I was just getting a little, I guess, in a slump. Not with like that I didn't want to read anymore about like the core 6, but it was just like I just needed a little refresher, and now I'm just like slowly getting through it. I am on Fuel the Fire right now. But basically, if you didn't know, the Addicted series, Lily is a sex addict and Lo is an alcoholic, and they kind of enable each other, and they're also childhood best friends to lovers, like that kind of trope, but then they have like addictions and only they like really understand it. So that's the Addicted series, but then you get the Calloway sisters spin-off. So Lily Calloway, her sisters Rose, Poppy, and Daisy. Poppy doesn't have her own book, but Rose and Daisy do, and their love interest. So you get the spin-off in between the Addicted series, and you get like the whole family together, and it's amazing. But I did rate a majority of them 5 out of 5. I think all of them except the first one and Thrive were 4 out of 5s for me. I know that's gonna hurt a lot of people because people that read these series are like hardcore fans. But then I rated Ricochet, Addicted for Now, Addicted for All. These are all 5 out of 5s for me. And then Thrive, which I think is the 5th one. No, it's the 4th. It's the one, okay, it goes... Now I'm confused. So these are all the Addicted, and then in between you'll get the Calloway sisters, so it's kind of like you get other point of views of the story. Addicted to You, the first book, I gave it a 4 out of 5. And then Ricochet, Addicted for Now, the 2 after that in the Addicted series, I gave it a 5 out of 5. Thrive, I gave it a 4 out of 5, and then Addicted After All, I gave it a 5 out of 5. So I couldn't just like separate them and not show all of them in this video. I don't know. I felt like I had to show all of them, but those are the ones that I gave 5 out of 5. I love Lily and Lo, their story and everything. I don't want to say too much, but they're just like soulmates. But like next level soulmate. Like if there's a word for soulmates, but like times 1,000. And then I have Kiss This Guy and Hot House Flower. So Kiss This Guy is the 3rd if you're reading it in order. Rose and Connor are my life. I am sickly like just like obsessed with them and their relationship and their thought processes and their personalities and just like their relationship. Guys, I love them so much. They are my favorite. And then Hot House Flower, I also gave it 5 out of 5. I was obsessed with this. Reich and Daisy are in this one, and it's their points of views. But then you also get Lily and Lo, you get Rose and Connor, you get everyone in each book, so it's like that dynamic. So these were also 5 out of 5s for me. Slowly but surely getting through this. This is Confess by Colleen Hoover. I read this a few months ago, and then I let Lauren read it after me, and she also was obsessed and she tabbed it. This one I feel like it's not talked about like too much for like Colleen Hoover read, but I really enjoyed this. It kept me on my toes as a Colleen Hoover book does, but like this one I really enjoyed. There's always like a little mystery element in Colleen's books. So this is about Auburn and Owen. I'm pretty sure Auburn is like trying to rebuild her life, and then she just like comes across Owen's art space, and he kind of like paints and makes art through people's confessions. That's why it's called Confess. So he will anonymously give a confession, and he will kind of like bring it into life, into art. But he's seen Auburn before, so when she comes across his art shop looking for a job, he gives it to her. But like he's like, I've seen this girl, like this is fate that she has come to my shop. But then there's like other little subplots of what's going on, because I don't know if I should say it. No, I'm not gonna say it. But you'll see if you read it. It's really good. Colleen always keeps me on my toes. I run through her books. I'm pretty sure I read this in a day. I like needed to know what happened, and the ending had me crying for so long. I was just like so obsessed with this book. There's like a little TV series on it. I don't know if it's on Amazon Prime. I think it's Amazon Prime, and Colleen makes like a little cameo in that, so that was fun. Continuing on, let's see what we have left. Let's do the last ones that I have paperbacks, and then we'll get on to my Kindle ones. So we have Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I did not expect to love this book as much as I did. It's also a pretty thick book. I've talked about this more recently in a few videos, but it's Grumpy Sunshine. It's also kind of fake dating in there, and the way that Knox, the main guy love interest, acts is usually a character that I wouldn't like, because the way that he is the grumpy, it's like, I don't know, usually it like annoys me when they act how they do. I don't know how to explain that one, but I enjoyed this like a lot. And also her sister left her daughter for Naomi to take care of, so you kind of get like a whole family dynamic. So I think that's why I liked it so much, is if it was just strictly the enemies to lovers, fake dating, Grumpy Sunshine, just that plot, I probably would have been a little bit more bored. But since you got like a family dynamic, you got the child, there was more like lessons and stuff in it that I think I liked a lot. I think that's why I enjoyed it like thoroughly. But usually these types of tropes aren't my favorite, but I did. I loved it. So now for my Kindle reads, I have 2 that I want to talk about. One's a series, technically, that I'm going to be talking about in my what I read in May. So I don't want to talk too much about it, but I will say that it was 5-star for me. But if you want to know exactly what I was thinking, wait for my what I read in May. It's the Mindfuck series by is it St. Abbey or St. Abbey? I think it's St. Abbey. But just wait for my full review on it for what I read in May. But that is a 5-star series for me. It was phenomenal. Just wait for my thoughts when it comes. But another book that I read on my Kindle was Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. I did get the book literally after I finished it on the Kindle. I went on Amazon and I ordered it, like the paperback of it, but I let my friend borrow it, so I don't have it with me right now. But I didn't reread it yet with the paperback. I really want to. Okay, so I didn't see this book anywhere. I was going through my Goodreads, like what I want to read, like my TBR on there, and I was looking at like all the rated books, and I was like, I'm gonna choose books that are like highly rated. So I was like, let me try that. And Darling Venom was one of them. It wasn't like on my radar. I just randomly chose it, and I literally loved that book with everything in me. Basically, okay, it's about Kellen and Charlie. They meet on the same spot, I think on top of the school or something, where they both are there on purpose to do something. They are depressed. It's a very big trigger warning when you're reading the book, especially like right off the bat. But they strike up a plan that they'll meet every year on Valentine's Day. They won't speak during the year because they go to the same school. But then on the 4th year, their final year, Kellen decides to do something and he is no longer there anymore. And then it kind of fast forwards a few years later. I don't know how many years in the future later, like off the top of my head, but it fast forwards years later and you see how Charlie is in the future, like obviously without Kellen, and what her profession is and how she has grown from high school. And she runs into Kellen's older brother Tate. So it's age gap, it's also enemies to lovers, but it's not just that. And I know it sounds weird, like she ends up with Kellen's older brother when she was with him when they were younger, but when you read it you get it. It doesn't like seem that insane. I just love this book. I love what it stands for. I love what it's trying to say. I love the characters. I love the whole storyline. There's like a little, not a mystery, but there's like little hints of like trying to figure something out of what's going on. And it's like the way Charlie and Tate are able to connect but like not fully over Kellen is just like so good. Highly recommend this book. If you have not read it yet, I like read it, please. I am just so in love with the book. That's that one. I think that's all that I have one more. This one I'm also going to be talking about in my What I Read in May, Alone with You in Ether by, how do you say that? Olivie Blake? I don't know. I didn't know if I wanted to include it in this video because I don't know what I'm rating this, and I think this might be one of the only books that I just can't rate because sometimes I'm like, this is a 5-star read, like this has a whole different meaning through the words and stuff, and then the other half of me is like, I don't get it. If you've read it, do you know what I mean? So I decided to include it anyway because when I'm like, this is a 5 out of 5 book, I like kind of mean that. It's basically about Regan and Aldo. Regan is kind of depressed. She has this obsessive mind, and then Aldo has this like very logical, he's always thinking, and he's just like, I don't know, he's smart. But you get their points of views, but it's like hard to explain completely. I guess I'll talk about it more in What I Read in May, but I want to say I'm giving it a 5 out of 5, but then I don't know. But I'm gonna put this in this video anyway so that if you want to read a book like this, it's very different from like anything I've really read. Not that it reminds me of Normal People, but like some ways of the writing in this book reminds me of Normal People, but it's very like complex writing where you kind of have to like read between the lines to understand something. So if you don't like books like that, you just like straightforward books where you're reading it and you're getting to a point right away, don't read this. This is like more rhetorical and like, I don't know. I decided to include it anyway because I'm still trying to figure out if I want to give it a 5 out of 5, and right now it feels 5 out of 5. When I film my What I Read in May, we're gonna have to figure that one out of what I'm gonna rate it. So right now it's giving me 5 out of 5. I don't know. Really, the book has confused me in like more ways than one, but it was still good. So I'm just like, I don't know. Okay, thank you guys for watching. This has been my updated 5-star reads. Let me know if you also have given any of these 5 stars. Let me know any of your 5-star reads because I love reading other people's 5 stars to see if I like it. I don't know, I feel like it's kind of fun. I'm sure from now until a few months, fingers crossed, I have more 5-star reads because when I get a 5-star, I just like, I feel happy, you know? Most books are like 3 or 4 out of 5s. There's rarely 2 out of 5s, but I do have a few. So let me know if you want a video of books that I just like did not like, which I feel like could be controversial because when someone is talking about a book that you absolutely love and they give it like a 2, it hurts. But I feel like that could start some conversation. So let me know if you want a video on books that I have rated very low. I don't know, but just let me know. Don't forget to click the link in my description to get Karma's free Chrome extension in time for spring shopping, which is super fun. Again, you can get literally discounts on so many things. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you hopefully in the next one. Bye!